Hello, today I'm going to be recording the process of making sourdough bread. I already have my sourdough starter here, and to be honest, it's a little bit flatter than it should be. It doubled in size last night and then went back down, and I didn't catch it in time, but there's still a little bit above the line, so I'm going to work with it. So first things first, you got to get a scale. Well, you don't have to, but I think that it's best to just go ahead and do this the proper way, right? The proper way. I've seen people do it without a scale. I'm not that brave. So I have 0 on the scale, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my bowl onto the scale. And now it's gonna give me the weight of the bowl. So I'm gonna hit tare, and it's gonna go back to 0. My recipe here that I've laminated says that I need 170 grams of active sourdough. So it's a little bit runny, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. Like I said, we're gonna work with it. All right, we did 172. I like to be precise, so I'm gonna take some out until we're at 170. Okay. And as you can see, we have a lot of leftover, and I'm gonna use this, it's called discard, for something else later. So now I'm going to press tare again, and we're back to 0. And the next thing that it calls for is 580 grams of bread flour. So I'm gonna go get that. All right, so this is the brand that I've been using for bread flour, but I already have an open bag here. So I'm gonna empty this before I open that one. And I like to use this little scoop. So I'm just gonna keep filling this up until my scale says 580 grams. That was 115. 200. 294. You get the picture. I'm gonna keep filling this up. I did a little bit too much, so I'm gonna take some out. And I took too much out, so I'm gonna put some back in. And I put too much back in, so I'm gonna take some more out. Carefully. All right, now we're at 581. I think that's okay. And I'm gonna hit tare again, so we're back at 0. And now it says I need 355 grams of water. I have well water that comes out of my sink, so I'm just gonna use it straight from the sink. If you don't have well water, probably use bottled water or distilled water. Like I said, 355 grams. And I did way too much. So I'm just gonna scoop some out, and I'm gonna use this. Just get some liquid. $3.56, close enough. All right, so now we're done with that. I need to do 1 teaspoon of salt. Let me go grab the salt. Voila. And now we mix. I'm just gonna use this. It looks like this. I'm gonna keep mixing and then I'll show you after. So actually at this point, the best thing to do is just get your hands dirty. And I will tell you, this stuff will clog your drains and can be a very expensive plumbing issue that thankfully I haven't had to deal with. But what I do is I use these little mesh covers for the drain in my sink, and it really helps with the cleanup process. Let me show you. So the mesh covers look like this. You put it over your little, this thing. I already have one on here. Put it over this, and it's gonna catch all of that sourdough. All right, I just washed my hands, and now we're just gonna get in there and start mixing. So far it looks like this. all nicely mixed. It's going to be messy, and that's just part of the process, and you just have to accept it. It's gonna be messy, it's gonna be sticky, it's gonna be overwhelming. So just breathe through it. And know that the end result will be worth it. You can even just like squeeze. All right. And now we get what we can off of our fingers. Told you. All right, and now I'm gonna go wash this off my hands. Okay, now that that's done, you're gonna let the dough sit for about 30 minutes. And you're just gonna place a cloth on top. I'll be back. All right, and now we're back. It's been 30 minutes. So we're gonna check our dough. It's looking like this. And we're gonna do our first set of stretch and folds. And that is something that looks like this. So we're gonna take a corner, we're gonna stretch, and we're gonna fold. And we're gonna turn, take another corner, stretch and fold. Again, stretch and fold, and stretch and fold. I like to do a little bit extra just for good measure. Just stretching and folding, stretching and folding. So as you can see, it's starting to look something like this. And now we're going to put the cloth back on top and wait another 30 minutes. I'll be back. All right, just washed my hands and we're gonna do another set of stretch and folds. This is what our dough is looking like so far. Oh, that's the timer right there. Same as before. We're gonna stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. We're gonna keep doing that. As you can see, it's beginning to look something like this. And now we're going to let it sit for another 30 minutes. Be back. All right, guys, I think we're on our final set of stretch and folds. So this is what our dough is looking like. Move my hair out of the way. And we're gonna stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. Bring it around town. We are just going to make sure that this is nice and firm. As you can see, it's looking like this now. All right. So at this point, looks like this. I am going to mark where it's at. I like to use an Expo marker. And it's about right here. Okay. And I'm gonna leave this covered for probably like 4 or 5 hours and let it rise and double in size. And once that's done, we'll be back. All right, and we're back, and it has been many hours. I don't even know how many, but we are on to our next step. And first things first, I'm going to clean this counter with some homemade cleaner that I made out of lemons and vinegar. All right, so my little squirt isn't working, so I'm just going to pour it on here a little bit. So we're just cleaning the counter. And our next step is getting our flour back out. We're gonna put flour all over the counter. Rub it in. All right. Getting the counter nice and floury. And then we're going to get our dough that has now pretty much doubled in size. And we're gonna get it all out of here. and put it on the counter. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna flatten it out, and I'm actually gonna put a little bit more. I'm gonna put some more flour on top. And here on the counter. All right, we're flattening it out almost like a square shape. And now we're gonna take each corner and fold it into the center. Okay. It's really like a nice texture. I kind of just want to squeeze it, but you know, this is called shaping the dough. So I'm going to put some more on the counter. And now we're going to do this thing where you push it and kind of pull. It's like you push and pull. And I'm not claiming to be a pro, guys. I'm just showing you the methods I've been using. We're shaping our dough. All right. So I like to kind of pinch the top together to try to make it stay. This is what our bottom looks like. That's actually going to be the top. This is the bottom, and it's looking kind of rough, but that's okay. That's totally fine. We're just gonna try to pinch it closed. All right, so next step, very important. I'm just gonna use this bowl. I'll clean it later. Taking that same rag, I'm going to place it into the bowl. I like this, and push it in. Okay, and now also very important step. We're taking more flour and we're putting it into the bowl on top of the towel. Kind of spreading it around in there. And we're gonna put the pretty side down into the bowl, okay? And then we're going to just wrap it like this. And this is gonna go into the fridge overnight, and tomorrow we will bake her. By the way, her name is Petunia. See you tomorrow. All right, so it's the next day. I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. We're gonna bake the bread regardless. I'm about to set the oven for 450 degrees. Then I'm gonna squeeze in a workout because I'm definitely eating some bread today, and I'll be back. Okay, so while the oven's heating, I'm gonna show you how I prepare the bread. So I use this pot, and I actually store the other bread that I've already made in it. I made flatbread with the discard, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that over here and just do a little rinse with this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this parchment paper, and we are going to pull out a pretty big piece. Place this here for a second. And we have our dough still in here, wrapped up. Let's see what she looks like. I'm hoping I didn't overproof her and leave her in the fridge too long. That could have happened. We'll see what happens. So I take the parchment paper like this, and then I put the dough like this. Come on, dough. All right, actually, let me take her out of the bowl first. Okay. It's okay, guys. We're tired, but it's okay. Parchment paper, dough. All right. She looks like this. And she's gonna go right into the bowl, or the pot. That. And now I'm gonna show you how to score her. Okay, a lot of people score their sourdough with razors, but I'm just gonna use this knife. And you can do whatever design you want, but just to be cute, I'm gonna make a heart. The razors do a nice slice through, but like I said, I'm using what I have, and I've done this before and it worked fine. So we're making a cute little heart, like so. All right, good enough. And now we're gonna put the lid on, and she's gonna go in the oven for 25 minutes. It's been in the oven for 25 minutes, and I forgot to tell you, make sure you put a pan underneath so that way it kind of prevents it from getting burned. And now we're gonna take it out and see how it's looking. Actually, we're just gonna take the lid off. Okay, all right. Oh, that's hot. All right, so now she's gonna go back in for another 25 minutes without the lid, and I'll be back. All right, guys, moment of truth. Woo. A lot of steam. We're gonna pull her out and see what she looks like. She's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna take her out and set her on the counter and leave her there for about probably 3 hours before I can cut into her. It's really important to let it cool. All right, ladies and gents, it's the moment we've all been waiting for, or at least I have been. We're gonna cut Petunia open. First, let's just admire her. We did pretty good. She's a little bit overproofed, I'm not gonna lie. In the past, I've made bread that's a little bit more risen. But that's because I left her in the fridge too long, and that's okay because it was worth sleeping in. All right, and now I'm gonna cut her. Well, actually, I'm gonna take a bite of her because I can. And she smells so good, and she's still a little warm. All right, but just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna cut her right in half to show you what's considered the crumb. Ready? Ooh, she's steaming. She smells so good. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Best of luck if you decide to go make sourdough. Don't ask me how I made the starter because my mom gave it to me. Okay. Love y'all. Bye.